Women with polycystic ovary syndrome. 6. Worst foods that destroy hormones. And 6. That fix them. Are you tired of feeling like your own body is a stranger? Exhausted from the endless cycle of unpredictable periods? Frustrating weight gain that clings on no matter how little you eat, and skin that just won't cooperate? Have you looked in the mirror, noticing more hair on your chin and less on your head, and felt a wave of despair wash over you, wondering if you'll ever feel normal again? This is the silent daily battle for millions of women with polycystic ovary syndrome, a battle that often feels incredibly lonely and deeply misunderstood. But here is the good news, the ray of hope you have been desperately searching for. The power to reclaim your body and calm the hormonal storm within might not be found in a pharmacy, but right in your own kitchen. The right foods can be your most powerful medicine, helping to balance your hormones, soothe inflammation, and finally, put you back in control. In today's video, we are going to embark on a journey together. We will uncover the 6 worst foods that can feel like pouring gasoline on the fire of your polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms, actively working against your body and destroying your delicate hormonal balance. And more importantly, we will then reveal the 6 healing foods that can help you fix them, nourishing your body from the inside out and paving the way for a life with fewer symptoms and more vitality. So stick around, because you absolutely do not want to miss these life-changing nutrition tips that could redefine your relationship with polycystic ovary syndrome and with yourself. Before we dive in, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop a comment below and feel free to share a piece of your story or ask any questions you have. Creating this community is a huge part of the healing process. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a health-boosting tip on your journey to wellness. First, let's talk about why this is all happening. And let me reassure you, it is not your fault. If you have polycystic ovary syndrome, you have likely felt blamed at some point in your journey. You've probably heard the frustratingly simplistic advice to just lose weight or eat less and move more, as if you haven't already tried everything. This advice not only dismisses your struggle, but also completely ignores the complex hormonal reality of what is happening inside your body. The truth is, polycystic ovary syndrome is not a personal failure or a lack of willpower. It is a complex endocrine condition, and at its very core for most women is a key player called insulin resistance. Imagine your cells have little doors on them, and insulin is the key that unlocks these doors to let glucose, or sugar, inside to be used for energy. With insulin resistance, the locks on those doors have become rusty and stiff. Your pancreas, trying to do its job, produces more and more insulin, sending a flood of keys to try and force those doors open. This flood of excess insulin is what creates chaos in your body. It signals your ovaries to produce more androgens, like testosterone, which are often referred to as male hormones. It's this excess of androgens that leads to some of the most visible and distressing symptoms of polycystic ovary syndrome, such as cystic acne, hirsutism, which is unwanted hair growth on the face and body, and androgenic alopecia, the thinning of hair on your scalp. This hormonal imbalance also disrupts your ovulation, leading to irregular or absent periods and challenges with fertility. This entire process is happening on a cellular level far beyond your conscious control. It's not because you ate a piece of cake last week. It's a deep-seated metabolic issue that requires a targeted, compassionate approach, not criticism. And you are so far from being alone in this. It is estimated that 1 in 10 women of childbearing age is living with polycystic ovary syndrome. That is millions upon millions of women around the world who wake up every day facing the same challenges, the same frustrations, and the same hopes as you. You are part of a vast, silent sisterhood, and the feeling of isolation you may be experiencing is a shared one. The journey can feel overwhelming, but understanding that your body isn't broken but is simply responding to these complex signals is the first step toward true healing. We're not here to fight against your body. We're here to learn how to work with it, to provide the right environment and the right nutrients so it can finally find its balance. So let's gently close the door on self-blame and open the door to empowerment and knowledge, starting with the very first food that we need to address. The first and most destructive food that is silently sabotaging your hormones is refined sugar. Think of it as the ultimate deceiver, hiding in plain sight, offering a moment of pleasure while fueling the underlying fire of your polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms. When we talk about sugar, we're not just talking about the spoonful you put in your coffee or the obvious culprits like candy and soda. We're talking about high fructose corn syrup, sucrose, dextrose, and the dozens of other names it hides under in over 70% of packaged foods. It lurks in your salad dressings, your pasta sauces, your yogurts, and even your healthy granola bars. When you consume these simple sugars, they are absorbed into your bloodstream almost instantly, causing a massive spike in your blood glucose. For a body already struggling with insulin resistance, this is like a 5-alarm fire. Your pancreas goes into overdrive, pumping out even more insulin to try and manage the flood of sugar. This surge of insulin screams at your ovaries to produce more androgens, worsening acne and hair loss. It also promotes inflammation throughout your body, making every single polycystic ovary syndrome symptom feel more pronounced, from painful periods to joint aches and fatigue. But can eliminating something so common truly make a difference? The answer is an unequivocal yes. Removing refined sugar is not about deprivation, it is about liberation. It's about freeing your body from the constant roller coaster of sugar highs and crashes, and giving your hormones a chance to find their baseline again. Practically, this means becoming a detective in the grocery store. Read labels religiously. Start by swapping sugary drinks for water infused with lemon or berries. Instead of a sugary cereal, opt for oatmeal with cinnamon and nuts. When a craving hits, reach for a piece of whole fruit, which contains fiber to slow down the sugar absorption. It's about making conscious choices, one meal at a time. The process of reducing sugar can be challenging at first, as your body has become accustomed to it. But the rewards are immense. Clearer skin, more stable moods, increased energy, and a calmer hormonal state are all waiting for you on the other side. But addressing sugar is just the beginning of the story. The next food on our list is often mistaken as a healthy choice, but for women with polycystic ovary syndrome, it can be just as problematic. It's a staple in many diets, and understanding its impact is absolutely critical to your healing. Now, let's turn our attention to the first healing food, a true champion for hormonal balance, healthy fats. For decades, we were taught to fear fat, led to believe that a low-fat diet was the key to health and weight loss. This misinformation has been particularly damaging for women with polycystic ovary syndrome, because healthy fats are not just beneficial, they are absolutely essential for your body to function correctly. Your body cannot create hormones without fat, the very building blocks of your sex hormones, like estrogen and progesterone, are derived from cholesterol, which comes from dietary fats. When you deprive your body of these essential nutrients, you are essentially starving your endocrine system of the raw materials it needs to create balance. Healthy fats, particularly monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats like omega-3s, also play a powerful role in combating the two central enemies of polycystic ovary syndrome, insulin resistance and inflammation. They help slow down the absorption of carbohydrates, which leads to a more stable blood sugar level and reduces the demand for insulin. They are also profoundly anti-inflammatory, helping to soothe the chronic, low-grade inflammation that exacerbates every polycystic ovary syndrome symptom. So, can simply adding more fat to your diet really help? Yes. When it's the right kind of fat, it can be transformative. We're talking about the creamy richness of a ripe avocado, the golden goodness of extra virgin olive oil, the satisfying crunch of almonds and walnuts, and the powerhouse nutrition of seeds like chia, flax, and hemp. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines are particularly beneficial as they are packed with the most potent anti-inflammatory omega-3s, EPA and DHA. Incorporating these foods into your daily routine is easier than you think. Start your day with a smoothie and add a tablespoon of chia seeds or a scoop of almond butter. Drizzle your salads and roasted vegetables with extra virgin olive oil. Snack on a handful of walnuts or have a quarter of an avocado with a sprinkle of sea salt. Aim to include a source of healthy fat with every meal. This will not only nourish your hormones but will also keep you feeling full and satisfied, reducing cravings for the sugary and refined foods that throw your system out of balance. This isn't about eating more. It's about eating smarter, giving your body the fundamental tools it needs to heal itself. But as foundational as healthy fats are, they work best as part of a team. The next food we need to avoid is a common staple that acts in a very similar way to sugar, and removing it can be another giant leap forward in your journey. I need to ask you something personal. How many times have you felt completely alone, trying to explain your exhaustion, your frustration, your symptoms, to someone who just doesn't get it? How many times have you felt like your body is betraying you, as if nobody around you could possibly understand what you are going through? I know how deeply that hurts, and I want you to know that you are not alone in this fight. If this feeling resonates with you, if you have ever felt that painful isolation, please leave a comment below saying, "I understand this struggle." Write exactly that. Your message, your simple act of solidarity, could be the beacon of hope for another woman who is scrolling through these comments right now, feeling lost and desperately needing to know that she is not the only one. Your voice matters more than you know. The second food that creates significant problems for hormonal health is refined carbohydrates. This category includes all the things made from white flour, white bread, pasta, bagels, pastries, and white rice. These foods have been stripped of their fiber and nutrients during the refining process, leaving behind a simple starch that your body treats almost identically to pure sugar. When you eat a bowl of white pasta or a sandwich on white bread, you experience the same rapid spike in blood sugar that we discussed earlier. Your body doesn't see a complex meal. It sees a sudden, massive influx of glucose that it needs to deal with immediately. Once again, this triggers the alarm, causing your pancreas to release a flood of insulin. And as we now know, for a woman with polycystic ovary syndrome, excess insulin is the arch nemesis. It cranks up androgen production, messes with your ovulation, and fuels inflammation. It's a vicious cycle that keeps your hormones in a constant state of turmoil. But isn't it true that we need carbohydrates for energy? Absolutely. But the source of those carbohydrates is what makes all the difference. The problem isn't the carbohydrate itself, it's the refinement. Think of it like this. A whole grain is a complete package, containing the bran, fiber, the germ, nutrients, and the endosperm, starch. The fiber is crucial because it acts like a sponge, slowing down the digestion and absorption of the starch, leading to a much gentler, slower rise in blood sugar. Refined carbohydrates have had the bran and germ removed, leaving only the fast-absorbing starch. Making the switch is one of the most impactful changes you can make. Instead of white bread, choose 100% whole grain or a dense rye bread. Swap white pasta for pasta made from chickpeas, lentils, or quinoa. Replace white rice with brown rice, quinoa, or cauliflower rice. These complex carbohydrates will provide you with sustained energy without the dramatic hormonal roller coaster. They will keep you fuller for longer, feed the healthy bacteria in your gut, and provide essential nutrients like B vitamins and magnesium, which are often depleted in women with polycystic ovary syndrome. It's a simple swap with profound benefits, helping to stabilize the very foundation of your metabolic health. But even if you've mastered your carbs and sugar, there is another category of food, often promoted as healthy, that could be a hidden trigger for inflammation and hormonal distress. Let's explore that next. To counteract the effects of refined carbohydrates, we introduce our second healing food, fiber-rich, complex carbohydrates. These are the carbohydrates that work with your body, not against it. Foods like quinoa, steel-cut oats, sweet potatoes, brown rice, beans, and lentils are your allies in the fight for hormonal balance. Unlike their refined counterparts, these foods are packed with dietary fiber, a nutrient that is incredibly important for women with polycystic ovary syndrome. As we touched upon, Fiber dramatically slows down the digestion of carbohydrates. This means the glucose from your food enters your bloodstream slowly and steadily, like a gentle stream rather than a tidal wave. This prevents the sudden spikes in blood sugar and, consequently, the massive surge of insulin that causes so much trouble. By keeping insulin levels more stable, you are directly helping to lower androgen production and support more regular ovulation. Can eating foods like beans and sweet potatoes really impact something like acne or hair growth? The connection is direct and powerful. By managing your insulin, you are addressing the root hormonal driver of those symptoms. But the benefits of fiber don't stop there. Fiber is also essential for gut health, which is intricately linked to your hormonal balance. A healthy gut helps to properly eliminate excess hormones from your body. When your digestive system is sluggish, those hormones can be reabsorbed back into your bloodstream, contributing to the overall hormonal imbalance. Fiber acts like a broom, sweeping out waste and old hormones, ensuring they leave your system as intended. Furthermore, soluble fiber, found in foods like oats and beans, can help lower LDL cholesterol, which is often elevated in women with polycystic ovary syndrome and is a risk factor for heart disease. Including these foods is a matter of making simple, yet delicious swaps. Start your morning with a bowl of oatmeal topped with berries and seeds instead of a sugary cereal. For lunch, have a large salad with a scoop of quinoa or chickpeas. For dinner, swap the white potatoes for a baked sweet potato or add a side of black beans to your meal. These foods are not only nutritionally superior but also far more satisfying, keeping you full and energized for hours. They are the foundation of a sustainable, hormone-friendly way of eating. As you embrace these nourishing carbohydrates, it's also time to look at another major dietary component, one that can be either incredibly healing or incredibly harmful, depending on the source. The third category of foods that can be particularly problematic for many women with polycystic ovary syndrome is conventional dairy. This can be a sensitive topic, as we're often raised to believe that milk is essential for health, particularly for calcium and bone strength. However, for a significant number of women with this condition, dairy can act as a trigger that worsens their symptoms. The primary concern with dairy revolves around a protein called A1 casein and a hormone called insulin-like growth factor 1, or IGF-1. The A1 casein, found in most conventional cow's milk, can be inflammatory for some individuals. It can contribute to that low-grade, systemic inflammation that is already a problem in polycystic ovary syndrome. When your body is in a constant state of inflammation, it becomes even less sensitive to insulin, worsening insulin resistance and creating a feedback loop that is hard to break. Even more directly, all dairy, even organic, naturally contains hormones, including IGF-1. The role of IGF-1 is to help things grow, which is why it's so abundant in milk designed for a growing calf. The issue is that the structure of bovine IGF-1 is identical to human IGF-1. When you consume it, your body can't tell the difference. Elevated levels of IGF-1 can mimic the effects of insulin, signaling the ovaries to produce more androgens and stimulating excess skin cell production, which can lead to clogged pores and cystic acne. But is it really necessary to give up dairy completely? For many women, yes. A trial elimination for a period of 30 to 60 days can provide clear answers. If you notice a significant improvement in your skin, digestion, and overall well-being, it's a strong indicator that dairy is a trigger for you. This doesn't mean you have to live without creamy textures or delicious treats. The market for dairy-free alternatives has exploded. You can find milk made from almonds, cashews, oats, or coconuts. There are yogurts made from coconut cream and cheeses made from nuts. It's important to choose unsweetened versions to avoid adding the refined sugars we've already discussed. Experiment with these alternatives in your coffee, smoothies, and cooking. You might find that you don't miss dairy at all, especially when you start to feel the positive changes in your body. But while we are removing potentially inflammatory foods, it's just as important to add in things that actively fight inflammation. The next healing food we will discuss is a vibrant, powerful tool that does exactly that. Our third healing food group is one of nature's most potent medicines, anti-inflammatory herbs and spices. In a condition like polycystic ovary syndrome, where chronic, low-grade inflammation is a key driver of symptoms, incorporating these powerful ingredients into your daily diet can have a profound impact. They work silently in the background, calming the inflammatory pathways in your body and improving your sensitivity to insulin. 3 of the most well-researched and effective spices for polycystic ovary syndrome are cinnamon, turmeric, and ginger. Cinnamon is a true superstar when it comes to blood sugar management. Multiple studies have shown that it can help improve insulin sensitivity, essentially making those rusty locks on your cells more responsive to the key of insulin. This means your body doesn't have to produce as much insulin to get the job done, which in turn helps to lower androgen levels. Can a simple spice that you sprinkle on your food really have such a powerful metabolic effect? The research is incredibly promising. The compounds in cinnamon appear to mimic insulin and also help slow down the rate at which your stomach empties after a meal, preventing sharp spikes in blood sugar. Then there is turmeric, the golden spice that contains the active compound curcumin. Curcumin is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories ever discovered. It works on a molecular level to block the inflammatory signals in your body, providing relief from symptoms like painful periods, joint pain, and even helping to improve skin health. Ginger, its close cousin, shares many of these anti-inflammatory properties and is also fantastic for soothing digestive issues, which are common in women with polycystic ovary syndrome. The beauty of these spices is how easy they are to use. Add a teaspoon of cinnamon to your morning oatmeal, smoothie, or coffee. Create a golden milk-in latte by warming up a dairy-free milk with a teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, which dramatically increases curcumin absorption, and a dash of cinnamon. Add freshly grated ginger to stir-fries, soups, or brew it into a soothing tea. These small, consistent actions add up, creating an internal environment that is calm, balanced, and less inflamed. They are a simple, inexpensive, and delicious way to support your body's healing process. Now, let's move on to another category of foods that directly fuels inflammation, often found in restaurants and packaged goods. The fourth food group to be mindful of is processed and fried foods, which are typically loaded with unhealthy fats. This includes things like French fries, potato chips, packaged cookies, margarine, and fast food in general. The main culprits here are trans fats and an excessive amount of omega-6 fatty acids from refined vegetable oils like soy, corn, and canola oil. Trans fats, often listed on labels as partially hydrogenated oil, are chemically altered fats that are particularly damaging. They are intensely inflammatory and have been strongly linked to insulin resistance, heart disease, and hormonal disruption. They are a foreign substance that your body doesn't know how to process correctly, and they create immense oxidative stress on your cells. While trans fats are being phased out of many products, they still lurk in some processed foods. The other issue is the imbalance of omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. While we do need some omega-6 fats, the standard modern diet provides a massive overabundance of them from processed vegetable oils. When consumed in excess, these fats promote inflammation. The ideal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 is somewhere around 2:1 or 3:1. In the typical Western diet, that ratio can be as high as 21, creating a wildly pro-inflammatory internal environment. Is it realistic to avoid these foods all the time? It can be challenging, but minimizing them is key. The best way to do this is to focus on cooking at home with whole, unprocessed ingredients. This way, you control exactly what goes into your food. Instead of buying packaged snacks, prepare your own. Instead of frying foods, try baking, roasting, or air frying. When you do eat out, look for grilled or steamed options instead of fried ones. Learn to cook with healthy, stable fats like olive oil, coconut oil, or avocado oil. This shift not only helps reduce your intake of inflammatory fats, but also naturally increases your intake of the nutrient-dense whole foods that your body needs to thrive. It's about creating meals that soothe your body rather than stress it out. Moving away from these inflammatory fats naturally leads us to embrace their healing counterparts, which are essential for every aspect of your health. But before we get there, we need to discuss our next healing food, a category that is often overlooked, but is absolutely foundational for energy and cellular health. Let's introduce our fourth healing food, which is lean protein. Protein is a vital macronutrient that plays a crucial role in managing polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms, primarily through its effects on blood sugar control and satiety. Including an adequate source of lean protein with every meal is a non-negotiable strategy for keeping your hormones happy. When you eat protein alongside carbohydrates, it slows down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream, which is a critical mechanism for preventing those sharp insulin spikes. A meal balanced with protein, healthy fat, and fiber-rich carbs will keep your blood sugar stable for hours, preventing the crashes in energy and the intense cravings that can lead you to reach for sugary snacks. This stable energy supply is a game changer when you're dealing with the fatigue that so often accompanies polycystic ovary syndrome. Furthermore, protein is the most satiating of all the macronutrients. This means it makes you feel full and satisfied for a longer period of time. How does this help with polycystic ovary syndrome? By promoting satiety, protein naturally helps you regulate your appetite and can prevent overeating, which is a key component of managing weight with insulin resistance. When you feel satisfied and nourished, you are less likely to be tempted by the refined carbs and sugary treats that wreak havoc on your hormones. It empowers you to make conscious food choices from a place of nourishment, not desperation. The key is to choose high-quality, lean sources. This includes organic, pasture-raised poultry and eggs, wild-caught fish like salmon and cod, and a wide variety of plant-based options such as lentils, chickpeas, black beans, tofu, and tempeh. The variety is important. Fatty fish provides the added benefit of anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Legumes offer a fantastic combination of protein and fiber, making them a powerhouse for blood sugar control. When planning your meals, always ask, "Where is my protein?" Make sure your breakfast includes eggs or a protein-rich smoothie. Your lunch should have chicken, fish, or a generous portion of beans. Dinner should be similarly structured. This simple shift in focus from a carb-heavy plate to a protein-anchored plate can fundamentally change your metabolic health and put you on the path to better hormonal balance. But protein doesn't work in a vacuum. It needs to be paired with other nutrient-dense foods, like our next healing powerhouse, which adds color, vitamins, and incredible disease-fighting compounds to your plate. Now we must address a controversial and often confusing topic for women with polycystic ovary syndrome: soy. Soy is found in foods like tofu, tempeh, edamame, and soy milk. The controversy arises because soy contains compounds called phytoestrogens, which are plant-based compounds that can mimic the hormone estrogen in the body, albeit in a much weaker form. Because polycystic ovary syndrome is already a state of hormonal imbalance, there is a legitimate concern about adding anything that could further disrupt the delicate dance of your hormones. The research on soy and polycystic ovary syndrome is mixed, and its effects can be highly individual. For some women, particularly those consuming large amounts of highly processed soy products like soy protein, isolate found in protein bars and powders, it may have a negative impact. There is some concern that in high doses, it could potentially interfere with thyroid function or ovulation. The thyroid and the ovaries are in constant communication, and any disruption to one can affect the other. However, it's also important to note that whole fermented soy products like tempeh and miso too, when consumed in moderation as part of a balanced diet, may not be problematic and can even offer health benefits. Does this mean you need to avoid soy at all costs? Not necessarily, but it does mean that caution is warranted. If you choose to include soy in your diet, it's wise to stick to whole, organic, and preferably fermented forms. Pay close attention to your body. If you notice that your symptoms, such as bloating, acne, or cycle irregularities, worsen when you consume soy, it may be best to limit or avoid it. For many women, simply removing the highly processed versions and being mindful of their intake is enough. This is a perfect example of why there is no one-size-fits-all diet for polycystic ovary syndrome. It's about learning to listen to your body's unique signals and becoming your own health detective. As we navigate these nuanced food choices, it's helpful to focus on what we can abundantly add to our diet without reservation. The next healing food we will discuss is something you can and should eat in large quantities every single day for its incredible health benefits. The fifth and perhaps most important group of healing foods is leafy greens. If you were to make only one significant change to your diet starting today, it would be to pile your plate high with greens like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, arugula, and romaine lettuce at every possible opportunity. These vibrant greens are some of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, and they offer a multitude of benefits specifically for women with polycystic ovary syndrome. First, they are exceptionally rich in a wide array of vitamins and minerals that are crucial for hormonal health. They are packed with B vitamins, especially folate, which is vital for reproductive health and can even help to regulate menstrual cycles. B vitamins also play a key role in managing stress and supporting your energy levels. Leafy greens are also a fantastic source of magnesium, a mineral that a large percentage of women with polycystic ovary syndrome are deficient in. Magnesium is a calming mineral that helps to improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, and can even help with anxiety and sleep quality. But how can eating a salad help with something as complex as hormonal balance? The magic lies in the synergy of the nutrients. The high fiber content in these greens, as we've discussed, slows down digestion and stabilizes blood sugar. The antioxidants, like vitamin C and E, combat the oxidative stress and cellular damage caused by inflammation and insulin resistance. They also support your body's natural detoxification processes, helping your liver to efficiently process and eliminate excess hormones. Incorporating more greens is simple. Start your day by adding a large handful of spinach to your smoothie. You won't even taste it. Make it a habit to have a large salad for lunch, topped with your favorite lean protein and healthy fats. Sauté kale or chard with garlic and olive oil as a side dish for dinner. You can even chop them finely and add them to soups, stews, and omelets. Aim for at least 2 large servings per day. Think of leafy greens as your daily multivitamin, your detox support, and your blood sugar stabilizer, all delivered in a delicious whole food package. They are the foundation of a diet that nourishes and restores balance from the inside out. Now, let's address our final food to avoid, another one that can be a hidden trigger for inflammation, starting in your gut. The final food on our list to be cautious with is gluten. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. For a subset of women with polycystic ovary syndrome, particularly those with an underlying sensitivity or intolerance, gluten can be a significant trigger for inflammation. The connection between gut health and hormonal balance is incredibly strong. When you eat something that your body perceives as an irritant, like gluten for a sensitive individual, it can trigger an inflammatory response that starts in your gut but doesn't stay there. This can lead to a condition known as increased intestinal permeability, or leaky gut, where the lining of your intestines becomes compromised, allowing undigested food particles and toxins to enter your bloodstream. Your immune system then rightfully attacks these foreign invaders, creating a state of chronic, body-wide inflammation. As we know, this systemic inflammation is a major driver of insulin resistance and the overall hormonal chaos of polycystic ovary syndrome. Does this mean every woman with polycystic ovary syndrome must go gluten-free? Not necessarily. Celiac disease, a full-blown autoimmune reaction to gluten, is more common in women with polycystic ovary syndrome, but many more women may have a non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which can still produce a significant inflammatory response. The only way to know for sure if gluten is a problem for you is to completely eliminate it from your diet for a period of at least 30 days and see how you feel. Pay attention to your energy levels, your digestion, your skin, and your cycle. If you experience a noticeable improvement, it's a clear sign that a gluten-free lifestyle could be highly beneficial for you. Thankfully, living gluten-free is easier now than ever before. There are countless naturally gluten-free foods to enjoy, including rice, quinoa, potatoes, and all fruits and vegetables. You can also find a wide variety of gluten-free alternatives for bread, pasta, and baked goods, which are typically made from flours like almond, coconut, or rice flour. Making this change can feel daunting at first, but for the right person, it can be the missing piece of the puzzle, the change that finally allows the inflammation to subside and the body to begin healing. To round out our healing foods, let's talk about a sweet and delicious way to flood your body with antioxidants. Our final healing food category is berries and other low-glycemic fruits. One of the biggest challenges when changing your diet is dealing with cravings for something sweet. Berries, such as strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries, are nature's candy and the perfect solution for women with polycystic ovary syndrome. They are packed with flavor but are relatively low in sugar and, most importantly, are loaded with fiber and powerful antioxidants. The deep, rich colors of these fruits are a clue to their incredible health benefits. These pigments come from compounds called anthocyanins, which are potent antioxidants that help protect your cells from damage. Remember how we talked about oxidative stress being a consequence of inflammation and insulin resistance? Antioxidants are the heroes that come in and neutralize that damage, helping to calm the overall stress on your body. But can you eat fruit if you're trying to control your blood sugar? Yes, absolutely, as long as you make smart choices. Berries are an excellent choice because their high fiber content means the natural sugars they contain are absorbed slowly, preventing a sharp spike in your insulin levels. This makes them a perfect, guilt-free way to satisfy a sweet tooth. Other great low-glycemic fruit options include cherries, plums, grapefruit, and apples. It's best to eat fruit in its whole form rather than as juice, as the juicing process removes the beneficial fiber. A fantastic way to incorporate berries is to add them to your morning oatmeal or smoothie. Have a bowl with a dollop of coconut yogurt for a snack, or simply enjoy them on their own for dessert. Pairing them with a source of protein or healthy fat, like a handful of nuts, can further help to stabilize your blood sugar. By choosing these fruits, you are not just satisfying a craving, you are actively flooding your body with anti-inflammatory, cell-protecting compounds that support your journey back to hormonal health. It's a delicious and joyful way to practice self-care and nourish your body. If you made it this far, it means you are searching for answers, relief, and hope. It means you are ready to stop feeling like a passenger in your own body and start taking the driver's seat. This channel was created exactly for that, to help you understand your body, regain control, and find solutions that actually work. You are not alone here. We are building a safe space where women like you can find support and real information that makes a difference, free from judgment and simplistic advice. This is a journey of rediscovering trust in your body and learning to nourish it back to balance. One meal, one choice, one day at a time. If this is the kind of guidance you've been looking for, subscribe now and turn on the notifications. Every video is a step toward a healthier, happier you.